Well, today we're looking at the Porsche Panamera e-hybrid. I've done a couple of reviews on the new 2014 Panamera, the Turbo, and also the 4S, and I encourage you to watch those videos as well. And we've got this vehicle back today because it is unique. It's an extended range or plug-in hybrid, only available in rear-wheel drive and only available with the short wheelbase. This car starts at $113,000 Canadian, the way you see it here with the upgraded wheels, the LED headlamps, the Bose stereo, and a premium interior comes to $126,000. So once again, the Porsche Panamera isn't cheap. We're not going to talk too much about the design here because I've gone over that in the other reviews, and once again I encourage you to go and watch those. What we're focusing on today is the fact that you can plug this Panamera in and drive it. Now, when I started it this morning, it said on a full charge it had about 23 kilometers of pure electric juice, and then it'll switch, if you want, to a hybrid system or a combination of things. Now, that's what's unique about this car. It isn't just all electric, it isn't just hybrid, it's a combination to make it a dynamic Porsche, but also a greener vehicle. So here we are, we're stopped now, and I've pushed the button here for e-power. We'll start the car up and put it into drive. Now, the one thing I should mention about the drive system in this car, now Panameras typically have a PDK or a dual clutch manual transmission that's automatically controlled. This is the old Tiptronic that Porsche has had for many, many years. And it has a parallel system, meaning that the car has the ability to run just on gas, just on electric, or a combination of the two, and there's clutches in between them. And it makes the transition from one to the other so seamless that the driver or any of the passengers can hardly tell. Now, when you select that E mode, you're not fully committed because it does only have 95 horsepower. When you put your foot into it and you want more power, the gasoline engine that's supercharged V6 comes to life and assists in the process and makes this car very quick. If you want to make a run to 100 kilometers an hour, it takes just 5.5 seconds. But the reality is that E mode, that strictly electric mode, is going to be used in city driving where you're not taxing this car very much. You keep the revs down, or virtual revs I should say, and you can cruise along in full electric power, absolutely no problem at all. But you have all of that juice under the hood if you need it. Once again, it goes to the rear wheels, not an all-wheel drive application in this car because it would add even more weight. That's one thing you notice when you drive this e-hybrid compared to the regular Panamera, is this car is over 700 pounds heavier. You've got the big electric motor, you've got the battery pack, and it adds a lot of heft to this car. But what it does do is make this vehicle much more luxurious feeling. So if you're into buying a Panamera because it's a cruising car with all that power if you need it, this is the way to go because it makes the car much smoother over the bumps. It feels definitely heavier and more solid, but when you push it into the corners, you do notice a little bit more of its weight. Not to the point that it doesn't handle well, because it certainly does, just is heavier. Just be aware of that. If you plug this car in and then you drive 100 kilometers, it would average out to just 5.1 liters for the 100 kilometers. If you're driving just on the hybrid system, it comes out to 9.3. So having that first 20 plus kilometers of pure electric power is going to really reduce your consumption, and you're relying on the grid and not on the pump. Here's a couple of things you'll notice right away about the Panamera e-hybrid. First of all, the bright green calipers on the brakes. Usually Porsche has black, yellow, or red. They go green with this car. Also, the neon green badging along the side that says e-hybrid, and Panamera S across the back with green. And it kind of offsets the car. I think it looks pretty good, actually. Now, when you open up the back of this car, you'll notice there's a bag where they have the plug that goes into the car and into the wall. It can be stored in that bag, and it eats up quite a bit of space. And you can see I've got some camera gear in the back, and it really isn't that big. But what you'll probably notice if you have a car like this, you would keep that inverter and the plug at your house and only take it in the car if you're going somewhere on a longer trip. Now, what you have with this e-hybrid and the Panamera, basically three systems that work all together. Now, when I plugged this car in overnight, I got a full charge, looked at it this morning, and just had over 20 kilometers of electric range. Now, you can drive just on electric power, and then it can switch into the hybrid system. Now, the supercharged V6 engine under the hood has 333 horsepower. When you combine those two things together, it comes to 416 horsepower, which is very close to the regular Panamera S, which has 420. That's why it's called an S e-hybrid, because it has that kind of power. Now, when you have those two systems working, the gasoline engine and the electric motor, it also produces a lot of torque. Now, a lot of you might be thinking that Porsche is bringing out this extended range plug-in hybrid to compete against the Model S from Tesla, because that car has been very successful. Similar sort of shape. It's a 5-door hatchback, a luxury performance sedan. But not really. The reason why Porsche is bringing out this car is to offset their corporate average fuel economy. New regulations for 2016, and the US government, along with the Canadian government, want all of the manufacturers to hit about 35.5 miles per gallon as an average across their fleet of vehicles. Now, this will definitely help offset the amount of fuel that the other, more powerful cars definitely create. But that's the reason why this car is here. I've had a chance to talk to the engineers at Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, and even Mercedes-Benz, and they're all taking the same approach. Instead of coming out with just pure electrics, they're coming out with these hybrids that you can plug in and extend the range of pure electrification from maybe 20 to 50 kilometers, and then go back to a very efficient hybrid system. In Porsche's application, it has to meet two masters, not just fuel efficiency, but also performance, and it does an admirable job. This hybrid is heavier than the regular Panamera. It feels more luxurious, so if you're somebody that wants a more luxurious Panamera, this is the one you want to get. If you want pure electric power, maybe the Tesla's in your future.